It was removed. And then it came back.
Cold open, a website appears, vanishes, and returns unchanged. Same layout, same silence. Each removal feels procedural. Each return feels deliberate, as if the act of erasure itself is being observed. Authorities announce takedowns with confidence. Press releases use decisive language. Yet within hours, the site resurfaces, identical in form. Ignoring the performance of control around it, there is no welcome message, no manifesto, only a familiar interface that refuses to acknowledge disruption. Its persistence becomes its only statement. Investigators begin tracking timestamps. Each reappearance aligns too cleanly, not fast enough to be reactive, not slow enough to be accidental. The timing suggests anticipation. The site does not advertise resilience, it demonstrates it quietly. That restraint unsettles those assigned to neutralize it. Early coverage frames it as technical curiosity, a glitch, a delay, something explainable with enough diagrams. That assumption will not hold. Soon, the story stops being about access. It becomes about authority, about who decides when something is truly gone. The website waits, and then, without announcement, discovery. The first reports come from moderators, not users. A routine removal followed by an unexpected mirror. Reported with mild confusion rather than alarm. Side-by-side comparisons reveal no divergence. Even the smallest imperfections remain perfectly preserved. Engineers assume automation, scripts, redundancy, familiar. Explanations drawn from known systems and past encounters. Troubles them is consistency. Each instance behaves as if it remembers exactly what it was before deletion. Attempts to trace hosting origins return empty summaries, no clear center, no stable reference point. Only fragments that dissolve under inspection. Internal notes begin shifting tone. Words like persistent replace resilient. Unclear replaces pending clarification. The site gains a placeholder name in reports, something neutral, something temporary. It will outlive that label. No individual claims ownership. No group appears to defend it. Its anonymity feels intentional rather than protective. A question emerges quietly in meeting rooms. What if removal is already part of its design? Discovery ends not with answers, but with a shared sense of being slightly behind. The pattern. To each takedown, analysts document responses. The site returns unchanged. No adaptations, no escalation, just repetition. This lack of visible learning is unsettling. Persistence usually leaves scars. This leaves none. Logs show no frantic activity during outages, no surge, no scramble. The absence of reaction becomes the pattern. Every reappearance occurs through a different pathway. None repeat. None establish a rule that can be exploited. The pattern resists modeling. Predictive tools fail to anticipate timing or method with useful accuracy. Observers notice something subtle. The site does not return immediately. It waits long enough to be noticed missing. That delay creates a psychological gap. Long enough for relief, short enough to feel mocked, users begin treating the site as permanent. Authorities begin treating it as intermittent. The distinction matters. Permanence shifts expectations. Intermittence preserves hope of control. The pattern does not accelerate, it stabilizes. That stability becomes its most threatening feature. Escalation. Resources increase. Coordination expands across agencies and jurisdictions, framed as precaution rather than panic. Statements emphasize cooperation and capability. The language is careful, designed to reassure rather than explain. Each new effort follows protocol. Each result mirrors the last. Removal, pause, return. Behind closed doors, escalation feels heavier than it looks. Teams, cycle. Fatigue sets in quietly. The site remains indifferent. No countermeasures appear. No provocation, only continuity. Analysts start monitoring public reaction. Forums speculate. Rumors grow abstract, drifting away from evidence. The more force applied, the more symbolic the conflict becomes. Less technical, more philosophical. Escalation reveals limits, not of tools, but of narrative. There is no villain to confront. Control depends on visibility. The site operates comfortably without it. By escalating, authorities confirm what they cannot explain. Turning point. The turning point arrives without drama. A routine takedown, followed by an unusually long silence. Hours pass, then days. Reports suggest success. Internal optimism grows cautiously. Briefings frame the event as resolution. Language shifts toward closure and post-analysis. Then the site returns, not altered, not delayed, simply present again. The timing feels intentional, long enough to build belief, short enough to collapse it. This return reframes every prior action. Removal no longer looks like progress. The site appears to acknowledge expectations, even while ignoring authority. Some investigators stop asking how it works. They start asking what it demonstrates. The turning point is not technical, it is psychological. From this moment, the effort feels inverted. Collapse disappears. Official efforts slow, not publicly, but practically. Energy drains from repeated certainty without outcome. Meetings shorten. Reports repeat themselves. Language becomes circular. The site remains. Its presence no longer sparks urgency, only obligation. Then, attention shifts elsewhere. New threats emerge. Resources reallocate without announcement. Monitoring frequency drops. The site fades from priority lists. Its disappearance from discourse is quieter than any takedown. No confirmation is issued. The site may still exist, or it may not. The difference becomes irrelevant. Collapse happens not to the site, but to the pursuit. Silence replaces strategy. Analysis and context. Analysts later frame the case around myths of decentralization. Stories we tell about systems without centers. True decentralization is messy. This appeared precise, almost curated. The site exploited assumptions rather than infrastructure. Expectations rather than weaknesses. Control relies on endpoints. On moments where action visibly ends something, here, endings were simulated, reversible, procedural. The illusion was not invincibility, but inevitability. Persistence created authority by outlasting attention. The case challenges enforcement models built on visibility and response. It suggests resilience can be psychological before it is. Technical. The site became a mirror for institutional confidence. Analysis concludes without resolution. Unanswered question. No one officially revisits the case. It remains archived, summarized, and closed. Yet the question persists quietly among those involved. Was the site truly unstoppable, or simply unchallenged in the right way? Did it survive removal, or did it survive relevance? Control requires belief as much as capability. The website offered no resistance, only repetition. Its most effective act may have been patience. The unanswered question is not where it went, it is why its absence never mattered.